Hello everyone, I'm back with a brand new video, and today I'm going to be taking a look at some WWE children's books. About a month or so ago, I did a video on some very cool WCW DK children's books that I acquired about 20-ish years ago, and figured let's go the WWE route. Now today we're going to be taking a look at the Survivor Series Slam by Slam and WWE Cena and Orton rivalry in the ring. Both of these books are books that I got through my wife. My wife, she's a pre-K teacher, and years ago at one of their book fairs that they do, the Scholastic book fairs. She got these two books from me, of course, being I'm a wrestling fan. So they've been some cool little tidbits to the collection. These are things I really just enjoy. In my collection, more so than even like the figures, the magazines, books, other knickknacks are just these kind of very unusual items that you really will not find many other places. So we're going to go through this one first. This is definitely the more impressive one. And I was actually looking for this around the time of Survivor Series, back in November to do a video. And because I thought I saw it, because we did a really big storage sweep a couple of months ago, just kind of moving stuff around in our storage unit, bringing a lot of stuff back home, and I came across this book, but then I couldn't find it. And then lo and behold, earlier today, I opened up my little dresser which is really a storage place for a lot of my wrestling stuff, and it fell out. So here we go. So yeah, so the Survivor Series Slam by Slam. This came out in 2014, and it is actually by Scholastic. And actually, it's actually more specifically by Tangerine Press, which is an imprint of Scholastic. So I'm not sure if you could purchase this book anywhere, I guess outside of a book sale. I haven't went to see if it's on Amazon or anything like that, um, but yeah, and it's a pretty nice sized book. Of course, geared towards kids, but we're gonna go through and just kind of show you what it's about. And basically, it's just going through notable matches in Survivor Series history. Of course, Survivor Series, the annual November pay-per-view. And of course, over the last, I would say about, it's almost 5 years, it's been more so the pay-per-view War Games has been the big draw of it. So just the format of this book, we'll start off with, Hulk Hogan, and of course, every person on this cover has been involved in, of course, numerous, Survivor Series moments, classic moments over the years. You got Michaels, Rock, Taker, Cena, Hogan, 5 of the biggest stars in WWE history. Can't go wrong with that. And to get into it, and now we're gonna go through some, just gonna show you a couple of these, and I like that they kind of have what I consider, I don't know if I would call these deep cuts or matches that a lot of fans probably forgot about, even seasoned fans like myself. So this is from the 1994 Survivor Series. Looks like it was Razor Ramon's team called the Bad Guys against Shawn Michael and Diesel's team known as the Teamsters. And at this time, yeah. And then this kind of get more of a breakdown of the match sheet of participants from each team. Also has some statistics about about the match. Well, I guess statistics and a little descriptor going into 2008. I remember this match. This was John Cena and Chris Jericho, their World Heavyweight Championship match from Survivor Series that year. That was when Cena regained the belt in Boston, hometown. And then I remember this match. Now, this was a very unique match growing up because this was the 1995 Survivor Series, one of the Survivor Series matches. It was what was called, I think at the time, a wild card match. And it actually wild card elimination tag match. It actually pitted a rare occasion of heels and baby faces on the same team. So if you look at this, we see one team had Psycho, Sid, you had Sid, the British Bulldog, who were both heels at the time. Then Shawn Michaels, Ahmed Johnson, 2 of the biggest baby faces. On the opposite team, you had Yokozuna, Owen Hart, Razor, who would have been a good guy at that time, and Dean Douglas. Wow. Dane Douglas, Team Yokozuna and Ramon. So yeah, basically, so he was the only babyface on that team. And 1991, Hogan Taker from Survivor Series 91. And there's one more match I want to get in here, a match that really surprised me that I really forgot about. Maybe that was it. Maybe I already showed it. Yeah, not so much. Of course, you have the 1997 Bret and Shawn Michaels Survivor Series match. But I do like this little fun fact they included right here, mentioning their Survivor Series 92 match, which is a match that a lot of fans have forgotten about, I believe. That was actually the main event of Survivor Series that year. And a lot of people will consider their WrestleMania 12 match to be their best match, you know, the legendary Iron Man match, 60-minute Iron Man match. And then, of course, their 97 Survivor Series match is the most well-known, of course, because the Montreal Screwjob. But that 92 Survivor Series match was, to me, their best match. That was a very great match for, you know, that standard of that time in WWE in 1992. So if you have not seen that match, go out and check that match out. I'm sure it's on YouTube somewhere. But yeah, pretty cool book. And again, great, you know, gift for kids that want to learn more about, you know, WWE history. If you have some young wrestling fans who, you know, want to learn about why the Survivor Series was a pretty major pay-per-view for years and years, kind of the foundation of the show. And on to this book. This is a little more basic. Cena Orton rivalry, rivalry in the ring, and of course, Cena and Orton. And this is a very about a paint book. Lots of pictures, you know, just cool, and really just kind of chronicling their rise and their eventual, you know, feud. These are some early shots of Cena, of course, starting out. Then I think we go to, do we have any of Orton? Maybe not. And then it kind of goes into, you know, their, you know, feud, which really was from, their feud started in 2006. And really, this book was published in 2011 and went through, really culminated with their, you know, 2009 program. And actually, 2007, that's when their feud really started. Because they actually had their first pay-per-view singles match, if I'm correct, at SummerSlam 2007. And then, of course, 2009 was a year where they just felt like they headlined every pay-per-view and switched the title back a lot. And then, of course, you have... let me go to the last page, because this is, you know, this is what I remember about Orton and Cena at their peak. It was 2009, and Orton had that very, like, crew cut haircut, almost bald. No, he was actually just about bald. Yeah, almost bald. And that's when Orton was at his best as a heel. I mean, he was just intense that year. Here's some other, you know, photos from scenes from that year. So, yeah. So, the Hell in a Cell match they had and that year. So yeah, that's pretty much it. So again, it's just some cool little anomalies in the collection, you know, and again, just good. It's just always unique to see just the different, you know, WWE items, you know, that have been produced over years, wrestling periods or anything. Anytime I can find like some unusual finds like this, I definitely welcome them to the collection. So that is pretty much it for the day. I hope you all are doing well. It has been quite a snowstorm here in my area, North Carolina. We've been pretty much locked in for most of the last week. We had a snowstorm last week, which was more so ice. I mean, good Lord, I was out of work multiple days. Our job was closed because of the weather. Then went out of town. My wife and I went out of town for a conference. Then the winter weather picked back up. Actually, our conference was actually cut short. Then we left this morning early to kind of get a head start on travel, and traveling about a little over 2 hours during the snowstorm. It was not ideal. I do not recommend anyone driving in these kind of icy conditions, but we made it work. But I mean, we've been back home since, you know, about mid-morning, and it is like, literally, we are trapped in. It is like, I think last my wife checked, maybe 5 inches of snow, and maybe more, and it's still coming down. So it's been coming down literally all day here. So do not think we're going to be going out much tomorrow, and possibly not, maybe won't get out until maybe mid Monday morning, depending on how the sun goes and shoveling and things like that. But quite a winter blast here in North Carolina. But again, that is all for this video. I have a lot of wrestling. We're going to be basically doing a lot of wrestling publications coming up soon. I'm kind of taking a little pause on the figures. I've been doing the shorts, but want to really get into more of like the magazines. I have a lot of weekly pro wrestling, really Japanese magazines, UK wrestling magazines, and of course the American magazines, which is WWE, Pro Wrestling Illustrated, Family magazines. We have some World of Wrestling. So just really want to go through all of these magazines and just kind of share what's great about them, and what they're known for, and just kind of take you through some of these different collections of wrestling magazines I have. But that's all for the day. Hope you have enjoyed this video. Thank you everyone for your likes, comments. I will try my best to respond to all you all as quickly as I can. Forgive me if I have not. And again, just really thanks for the comments though, because even a comment recently, it's a comment on the WCW Children's Books videos, which is just really cool, and just kind of to hear that. So I always just like to hear how these videos resonate with you all, if they bring up any, wrestling memories and things of that nature. So again, just thank you for checking me out. I definitely appreciate it. And as I often say at the end of these videos, you could be spending your time watching a million other YouTube channels, but you've chosen to watch mine, and I definitely appreciate that. So thank you very much. And I will talk to you again after a while.